Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Classified Captures. Steve here, and today I've got a collection of clips ranging from glitches in our matrix to outright alien stuff that's sure to leave you perplexed. Ready? Let's jump right in. Right off the bat, we start off with one that many might consider rather odd. What do you see when you look at the sky? It looks like a ring of light of sorts, right? A glowing white circle which has somehow found a way to be suspended in the atmosphere. Naturally, all who saw this were puzzled. What could this be? One thing we can be certain of is that it's definitely not a cloud. Clouds don't look or act like that. Once this was shared in the paranormal community I belong to, different individuals came up with different theories. The most prominent of these theories was that we were looking at a portal to another dimension. Now, I get why people will think this. The concept of aliens and interdimensional beings has been a part of human culture for millennia, and seeing this will certainly bring them to mind. The only thing is, not many of us have actually seen a portal to another dimension, so our ideas of what it looks like come from movies and books. This led many others to also conclude that this may just be CGI. Which of these groups is right? Well, we can't say for sure. No one's seen a portal before, so we can't discredit this being one even if it looks a little funny. I mean, if it's interdimensional, what if other dimensions look slightly different from ours? That possibility doesn't mean the video can't be made up. Some of these things can be created using editing software on PCs even. AI is capable of these things now. That gives some merit to the thought that this could be CGI. Which of these is the most probable reality, though? That I will leave to you to decide. Next, we have this clip that a man in South Florida shared online that he took sometime in February 2024.
Alright. Here in South Florida, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm out capturing. I'm always looking up at the sky.
In the clip, we can see an object that appears to be moving in a vertical motion with a pinkish glowing hue hidden by the clouds. He initially thought it was the moon, but that was the wrong position for the moon at that time of the night. Unsure of what he'd captured, the man shared the clip online. The first thing he discovered when he shared the post online was he was not the only one who had seen it. The individuals who took the image insisted that it was not the moon, which also tied into the man's narrative. Once the moon was rolled out, those who saw the post thought it might be a rocket launch or something similar to that, but that was also written off. Despite the skepticism surrounding it being a rocket, I did some digging around and realized that there were some rocket launches in February. This includes the SpaceX Falcon 9 NASA PACE mission and the SpaceX Falcon 9 United States Space Force Mission 124. There's a possibility that these launches were what the individuals saw, but some thought it was a Project Bluebeam. If you aren't familiar with this, it's a conspiracy theory that suggests that the government is using advanced technology to create holographic images in the sky as a means of controlling the population. Without further evidence, like the exact date, time, and location from which the clip was recorded, we can say this is a rocket launch. That doesn't mean it's impossible, though. Speaking of the Bluebeam project, we don't have a lot of evidence to support it, but the absence of evidence doesn't mean the lack of it. Some have also suggested that the glowing object could be a meteor, a satellite, or even a UFO. You have seen the clip yourself, so what do you think it could be? When we board a plane, we expect it to take off and move through the sky to our destination. However, imagine if the plane somehow got stuck in midair. Sounds like something that belongs to a sci-fi movie, right? But no. Yes, that's a plane stuck mid-air. According to the one who sent the clip in, it happened as he was driving through town. He looked up and then saw a small plane seemingly suspended in the air without moving an inch. Baffled, he recorded the whole thing and placed it online. Many who saw it believed it had to be CGI, others thought it was an illusion. The comment section of the original post was nothing but a war zone, with each person stating why it was what they believed it was. Now that you have seen the clip, feel free to join the battle. What do you think we're dealing with here? Before you join in, though, take a look at my favorite of all the comments. If you thought that was an isolated incident, it's clearly because you haven't seen this clip.
This plane traveling into San Francisco is seemingly defying the laws of physics. It appears to just be sitting still in the air. It's gone viral. It was taken by a man from the window of a nearby plane. The video is actually an optical illusion. It's called the parallax effect. It's a type of visual illusion in which the position of a moving object appears to freeze due to the position of the observer.
This was captured by a passenger on a plane while flying over the waters of San Francisco. And yes, it's another plane stuck in the sky. The news tried to tell everyone that it was normal and something that occurred often. They tried to explain it as an optical illusion, which would have sounded logical, but the audience and masses rejected the explanation. A number of individuals stated that they could see the cars below moving, which didn't make sense. Many individuals also stated that they'd experienced it themselves and that the explanation being given by the news was not logical. Naturally, this got me very curious, and I went down the rabbit hole in search of the truth. My search led me to our next clip. In this clip, we see the exact same thing, a plane stuck mid-air above some woodlands. One of the commentators on the video shared a terrifying experience of being a passenger on a plane that went through something similar. All of you talk about seeing it, but I was on a plane when this happened. It was terrifying, especially for someone who understands the physics at play in aviation as a whole. I glanced out of the window to see lights standing still on the ground, the engines not in use. 10 seconds later, I heard the turbines winding up and a loud roar as the 737-900ER plowed forward into the headwind to land. It was such a weird sensation to feel the plane, and the G-forces almost ceased to exist in the air. The thought of being trapped in an aircraft hovering in mid-air must have been a truly harrowing experience. Can we believe her? Well, we have no way of verifying her story, but if it's indeed true, then I have questions. The first is, who's keeping everyone experiencing these things quiet? Secondly, could the government be involved? Is this a bigger conspiracy than we think? I guess we'll never truly know. However, another commentator provided some fascinating insight into the situation by suggesting that what we were witnessing is the parallax effect. The parallax effect is when things seem to move when you look at them from different angles. This happens because the way things look changes depending on where you're looking from. If it sounds familiar, it's because it's the same explanation the reporter from earlier gave. This leaves us with one question. Who is telling the truth? It seems that not only planes can experience mid-air mishaps. Recently, this fascinating video surfaced on YouTube. In the clip, we can see a bird that appears to be stuck in mid-air. This phenomenon is often associated with a glitch in the matrix, a term used to describe unexplainable occurrences that defy the laws of physics and reality as we know them. The video, which has since gone viral, shows the bird suspended in the air, seemingly frozen in time, with its wings spread out as if it were flying or at least trying to fly. Now, is this another case of the parallax effect as well? Well, I doubt that. The angle from which the clip is being shot should not lead to the effect. This leads us with a couple of possibilities. The bird is indeed frozen in time, there's a glitch in the Matrix, or this is CGI. At least that was my hypothesis. I gleaned through a number of the comments on the original post and found something rather interesting. This user, for instance, stated that the issue only existed because the FPS on cam was not in sync with the speed at which the bird was flapping its wings. Another mentioned that it might just be a kite. As varied and diverse as these opinions were, a majority of those in the community believed this was real and possibly a glitch of some sort. Before you dispel the bird clip, take a look at this one. We only get to see them drop out of nowhere. I have seen this clip before, and we have even featured it here on this channel some months ago. The hypothesis from authorities is that the birds could have inhaled something toxic or been shocked electrically whilst flying. That sounds logical, right? I mean, I also accepted such an explanation in the past. But when I connect this clip and the one just before it, the previous one sort of makes sense. Now, hear me out. What if these birds were also somehow frozen in the atmosphere and they just dropped when they unfroze? What if whatever glitch that's been happening didn't work well with these birds and they lost control for some seconds after the glitch ended? I mean, I know this is a bit of a wild one, but think about it and let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Now, I know all the talk about glitches and what have you can be weird, but there are a number of videos on the internet that seem to support the fact that we're living in a simulation. Take a look at this one, for instance. How, I ask again, how? How does it keep burning even after it's been disconnected? A number of individuals made jokes like this, and quite frankly, I can understand them because it's not something you would expect to see every day. Almost everyone who saw it called it a glitch. A few individuals, however, believed it was great editing and CGI. I get why they might think that, but is it true though? Is this truly computer-generated imagery? Well, given the limited information we have, whatever we decide is the case will be like taking a leap of faith. This time, however, I would leave the final conclusion to you. What do you think is going on here? Mars is a planet that has long fascinated scientists and astronomers alike. It's often referred to as Earth's backup planet, with some experts believing that it was once teeming with life and greenery similar to our planet. To better understand the planet, its history, and potential for life, many robotic missions have been launched to the planet. Researchers have made some fascinating discoveries from these missions. One of the most notable findings was a long streak on the planet's surface that ended in a curve that appeared to be a craft of some kind, possibly a saucer-shaped object. This discovery raised questions about whether there could be intelligent life on the planet and whether they could be responsible for such an object. In 2020, scientists deployed a device to the planet's surface to measure Mars quakes. However, they were surprised to discover strange, unexplainable noises coming from beneath the planet's surface. These noises culminated in a loud howl, which left the scientists wondering what could have caused it. Some experts believe that it could be evidence of life beneath the surface, while others think that it could be something more sinister. More recently, in March 2021, a rover was sent to Mars to capture visual footage of the planet. While analyzing the footage, scientists noticed something in the sky that resembled a bird. To confirm their suspicions, they placed a pixelated image of a bird next to the object, and the two appeared almost identical. This discovery was particularly intriguing as it suggested that there may be avian life on the planet. Not everyone buys into the bird theory, though. Some NASA experts mentioned that a helicopter named Ingenuity went with the rover for the expedition. That made me think we were dealing with that particular helicopter, but it didn't match the captured image when placed side by side. Some suggested dust particles, but that would have been captured on all 4 images and not just one. Some also think it might be the foil of rover's insulation that might have blown off some minutes before it landed. While these sound plausible, many enthusiasts want to believe it's alien. The fact that no definite explanation can be given for a number of the situations described here has led many to hypothesize that there could be life on Mars, whether it be intelligent or microbial. While there is still much to learn about the planet, these discoveries have piqued the interest of individuals around the world. You have seen the clip yourself. What do you think? Next, we have another alleged clip of the Mars rover that shows a small insect walking on it. This sighting is particularly fascinating considering that there has been no evidence of life on Mars to date. The insect appears to be a small creature with a distinct shape on the rover's surface. Naturally, this led to a lot of mixed reactions online. While many wondered how a fly could survive on such a harsh planet, or how it got there in the first place, one particular user called our outlook arrogant. In his own words, it's arrogant to assume we know where life can exist based on the conditions on our planet. To an extent, I agree with him. What if the conditions for life on other planets are very different from ours? For instance, we all know how fragile snails can be, but did you know that there are some snails that live in volcanic regions? If we were using what we know about our ordinary snails, then those volcanic snails should not exist. But here we are. They are even a wonder to many scientists. In the same vein, perhaps we could be measuring the possibility of life on Mars using the wrong metrics. Anyway, back to the discussion. As the discussion and debates raged on, some individuals pointed out that, although we were looking at a rover, this particular rover was not on Mars but in the desert. If this is true, it's certainly disappointing, but then again it doesn't change the facts we mentioned earlier. Perhaps if we want to discover life on other planets, we need to stop looking at things through the lens of our own planet. Surely we can use that as a starting point, but it shouldn't be the only lens we wear. That doesn't mean we're done with Mars just yet. Take a look at this fascinating capture. The image displays what appears to be a pale head and shoulders wrapped in dark robes. The figure resembles a monk who's in deep meditation on the ground. The photograph has sparked debates among researchers and space enthusiasts about the possibility of life on the red planet. However, it's difficult to confirm the existence of monks or any other life forms on Mars since there is no concrete evidence to support such claims. The planet's harsh environment and lack of oxygen make it an inhospitable place for life to thrive. At least, that's what we've been told. The site has had many talking, but let's take a breather and think of things logically. The planet is supposed to be extremely hot, right? So how could the man be sitting there and meditating? Also, does his presence mean humans made it to Mars, or does it point at the fact that there are species on Mars that look like humans? From a logical standpoint, this is just ridiculous, but then again, we live in a strange and mysterious universe. Anything is possible. For once, almost 95% of the online community where this was originally posted believe it's fake. They think it might have just been taken on Earth or edited. The black and white nature of the footage does little to help its credibility too. I'm tempted to side with those who think it's a hoax, but what do you guys think? Stepping away from the Martian possibilities, we move back to Earth, where one of us has apparently lost touch with the Earth. In the clip, we see a man floating in the sky with no tethers or anything either pulling him up or holding him down. The sight is a strange one, and it has led to many discussions and interpretations online. Some think the man is possessed, while some think there's something invisible holding him up. Many others wanted to believe it was a hoax, but there was a law enforcement officer there, which adds a layer of authenticity to the whole thing. There were some who also thought it was an otherworldly being, perhaps a soul reaper. As with many of these clips, we don't have a lot of background information, which makes it very hard to determine how authentic they truly are. But then again, you see the whole thing, don't you? What do you think we're dealing with here? Take a look at this footage. A man dressed in all black is walking down the stairs of a building when suddenly, out of nowhere, a body appears from the ground and bounces aggressively. The man seemed alarmed by it and even almost tripped over the strange being. However, he manages to hold his ground, turns around, and stares at the lifeless body that just appeared out of nowhere. It is bizarre, I must say. Did the body somehow transport itself from another dimension, or is it possible that a person is being returned from an alien abduction? It's hard to say given the limited number of seconds we get to see the clip. Some in the paranormal community, like this lad, believe the lady, assuming the body is really feminine, fell, but that's a hard pill to swallow. There's no evidence showing a fall from any height. Secondly, there's no blood, and a bounce isn't exactly what you would expect from a fall on such a surface. The alternative is a glitch, which many have ascribed to. Others argue that it's teleportation. But like I said, this is something we can never be really sure of. What do you guys think? Are there elements in the clip I missed that might explain the mystery? Please share your insights. On April the 10th, 2024, Jay Bavin, a well-known pop star, shared a fascinating video on his Instagram account.
Marica, no. Ahí la gonorrea está acercando.
Y la gente como si nada jugando, la gente como si nada,
The footage showed a triangular UFO moving about in the sky above New York. The craft's shape and movement were indeed unusual, and the video quickly garnered attention from people all over the world. While it's not uncommon for people to share supposed UFO sightings online, many of these reports are often dismissed as hoaxes or computer-generated images. However, given Jay Bavin's celebrity status and the fact that he has a large fan following, it's reasonable to assume that he wouldn't post something that wasn't genuine. In fact, when I first saw it, I thought it was a hoax because I hadn't checked his account yet. I hopped over to his account, and surely enough, it was there. His footage is clear and shows the craft in detail, making it difficult to dismiss as a simple optical illusion or a fake. The fact that a pop star of Jay Bavin's caliber has shared this video should make people take this sighting seriously and consider the possibility that we are not alone in the universe. Don't you agree?
Ahí la gonorrea está acercando.
Y la gente como si nada jugando, la gente como si nada,
In the video footage, a bright and unusual light is seen in the night sky. As the footage progresses, a glowing circle emerges from the light and begins to move around in the sky. It looks like some sort of portal. However, there is something about the whole scene that suggests it could be a hoax. The comment section of the original uploader is filled with people speculating about the authenticity of the video. Many individuals believe that the footage is computer-generated imagery, CGI, while others think it could be a blue beam projection. It's difficult to say what the truth is, but one thing is certain. There's definitely something odd about this clip. I just can't put my finger on it. Can you? Have you ever heard of the expression, the more the merrier?
Oh my God. I cannot believe I'm getting this on video.
Well, in this video that has been circulating online, someone captured an unusual sight in the sky. 3 celestial bodies can be seen, and it's difficult to determine exactly what they are. The footage was taken at sunset, which makes it seem as if the 3 objects are 3 moons hanging in the sky. However, this seems unlikely given what we know about Earth's natural satellites. Our planet is known to have only one moon, so the presence of 2 additional moons is highly unusual. It's not every day that we get to witness something that seems to defy the laws of nature, so it's no wonder that this footage has captured people's attention. But how is this even possible? Normally, photographers will tell you it's the reflection of the lens, and surely enough, we weren't the only ones looking for that comet. I'm no expert at photography, but I don't think this is one of those instances where we're dealing with the reflection of the camera lens. We can't, however, say the same for this next one.
I ain't about to release this shit though. I'm not trying to have somebody follow me. Bro, what in the hell?
Someone also posted a similar situation where they saw more than 2 heavenly bodies in the sky.
Hey! What the fuck?
In a video that captured this event, 2 crescent-shaped objects appeared to be descending toward a larger, brighter sphere that was below them. As these objects got closer to the sphere, they vanished for a brief moment due to the brightness emitted by the sphere.
It's 2 figures in the air. It's 2 figures in the air.
Some people who've seen the footage suggest that this could be a reflection of some kind, while others believe it could be something else entirely. It's unclear what these objects are or where they came from, but there are a section who are refusing to think it's anything out of the ordinary. What about you, though? What do you think?
It's like 4 suns lined up.
The pace of technological advancement is astounding, and there are always new and exciting gadgets being developed.
Woo-wee. Wow, so
At SXSW, Disney showcased a revolutionary robot that could move with an unprecedented level of agility and express emotions. The robot's motion capture technology allowed it to execute complex actions with astonishing precision. Watching the robot perform graceful somersaults and effortlessly get back on its feet was truly mesmerizing. What was particularly striking was the way the hosts interacted with the robot. They treated it as if it were a human child, carrying it and hoisting it on their shoulders with ease. The movements of the robot were so lifelike that it was easy to forget that it was a machine. However, it's worth noting that Disney has faced criticism in the past for some of its activities. As a result, the fact that they're developing robots that resemble human children is somewhat disconcerting. Does the company have ulterior motives? Some do think so, but some are also simply worried about what such technological innovations could mean for humanity. What about you, though? What are your thoughts on this? Share them in the comments section.
woo-wee. Wow, so
Dark matter is found in our genomes, and it's known as biological dark matter. The genetic code of every living being may contain this dark matter, which consists of genetic material or microorganisms that are still unclassified or very poorly understood.
Stepping away from robotics, did you know only 2% of your DNA codes are for proteins, with up to 98% of your genome not coding for anything? This is something scientists refer to as dark matter. Nobody knows the exact functions of these DNA and RNA sequences or why they're even present at all. One thing scientists can, however, agree on when it comes to dark matter is that it helps in regulating and determines how nearby genes are expressed and in which type of cells. Scientists have found thousands of genes in the dark matter, and yet, despite their dedication to uncovering the truth, they don't know what these do, not even their role in disease. They've also established that a number of the dark matter regions remain the same in humans, mice, and other living creatures such as chickens. Scientists concluded that although they didn't know what these were or how they functioned, they must be vital to our survival, especially when you take into consideration our evolution over millennia. In a study, some researchers altered the dark matter of some mice, and it led to abnormalities in their brains. They then concluded that dark matter could be related to brain diseases like Alzheimer's. Interesting. don't you think? Well, wait till you find out that up to 50% of the material in your gut does not match any other living creature in our known world. Wild, right? But that's a story for another day. Well, looks like we've got a real-life spider mystery on our hands. We all know that Peter Parker was bitten by a spider. What if someone found that spider? Someone came across this red and blue spider skittering about, its colors strikingly similar to none other than Spider-Man himself. Now, before you dismiss the whole thing, let's entertain the possibility for a moment. Could this be the very spider that sank its fangs into Peter Parker all those years ago, granting him his arachnid-inspired abilities? Given this is real life, well, that can't be, right? Unless, of course, there's more to the Spidey story than we know. But wait, before you stop planning your crime-fighting career, let's step back and think logically. While it's tempting to believe in superhero-like spiders, the reality is usually more complicated. This could just be a random spider with a striking resemblance to the web slinger, or a creation meant to mislead. Still, the idea of finding a real-life Spider-Man spider is fascinating. Who knows, there might be someone shooting webs out there. A sharp departure from our mystery videos, but still, do check out this amazing mirror cabin. It's a super cool piece of modern architecture that's made of reflective steel. The steel is so reflective that the cabin blends right into its surroundings, making it look like it's almost invisible. It's stunning and so fascinating to look at. Plus, the inside is just as impressive as the outside. The designers went all out to make sure that every inch of space was comfy and convenient. You've got to see it for yourself to believe it. Imagine hiding out here during an apocalypse. Wait, why did I think apocalypse and not something romantic? Well, this is a mystery channel after all. So, would I get one? Well, let's just say it's got me daydreaming about a futuristic hideaway of my own. After all, who wouldn't want to ride out to the end of the world in style? When we observe an eclipse, it's always from the Earth's perspective. However, this time, let's take a closer look at it from space. The following image was captured by a Starlink satellite during an eclipse on Earth. At least, that's the narrative that came with the original post. Being the inquisitive me, I checked to see if it was true, because you know how it is on the internet. Surely enough, it was. The satellite appears to be moving around the Earth, and the eclipse appears as a patch of blackness on the Earth. The contrast between the bright areas of the Earth and the shadow of the eclipse is striking. From the satellite's perspective, it looks like a black hole or some other mysterious object, adding to the eerie feeling of the image. It's incredible to see this phenomenon from a different perspective, and it reminds us of the vastness and complexity of our solar system. Have you ever wondered how the ancients looked at our celestial bodies during an eclipse? Well, I have a useful tip that will enhance your eclipse viewing experience. Instead of purchasing expensive eclipse glasses or finding other ways to view the eclipse directly, you can use a simple household item to create a projection of the eclipse. All you need is a bucket or bowl of water and a sunny vantage point. By placing the bucket or bowl of water in a spot where it can reflect the eclipse, the reflection will project onto the surface inside the container, allowing you to view the eclipse safely and clearly without staring directly at the sun. This method is a safe and cost-effective alternative to traditional eclipse viewing methods. Be sure to give it a try during the next eclipse. Buckle up for a peculiar discovery in South Africa. This strange rock-like object was found on a heap of sand. The rock was black and had cracks on it, with a glow coming from the cracks and smoke. The big question on everyone's mind: what in the world could this be? Some whisperers in the crowd suggest it might be a meteor, but here's the thing. There's not much intel available to confirm or deny this hypothesis, so we're only left to speculate. Personally, I want it to be something alien, but we don't always get what we wish for. Having seen it, what do you think we could be dealing with? In a Filipino village, a local resident heard peculiar noises emanating from the nearby woods, prompting him to venture out and investigate.
Pulang aja lah, guys, ya. Saya pulang aja ya. Apaan? Ya. Jancuk asu. Kaget aku.
As he surveyed the dark and desolate forest, an unexpected figure emerged, an elderly woman wielding a stick. However, as she got closer, she didn't look like a friendly grandma at all. No, she appeared to be something ominous with a terrifying appearance. Yet the most unsettling aspect of this encounter was not her terrifying appearance, but the eerie incantations she muttered as she walked by the man, unbothered by his presence.
Kaget aku. Kaget putih, Mbah.
When he turned to look at her again, she had vanished. The natives who heard of this were puzzled and connected this disturbing encounter to the legendary yet elusive night hag. If you're unfamiliar with the terminology like we are, it refers to a supernatural entity believed to wander the night. Aaron believes the encounter is genuine, but what about you?
Apaan? Ya. Jancuk asu. Kaget aku.
Yes, those objects are moving up the hill instead of down. Would you believe me if I told you these occurrences are actually real? They happen in places known as gravity hills, the real-life puzzles that baffle the mind and defy the laws of physics. You see, these are extraordinary places scattered all around the globe where the ordinary rules of gravity seem to take a coffee break. Picture this. You're standing at the base of a hill, a road stretching out before you. Now, instead of things rolling down like they're supposed to, the impossible happens. Water flows uphill, cars seemingly defy gravity, and even a ball might roll the wrong way. Sounds like something straight out of a science fiction novel, right? But no, these spots exist and they continue to stump scientists and thrill seekers alike. Despite all our modern knowledge, the mystery of gravity hills remains unsolved. Isn't it crazy how sometimes reality can blur with fiction? I mean, I've seen some bizarre stuff, but, well, this one takes the cake. So picture this. A serene sunset, a majestic coconut tree swaying in the breeze. Looks pretty normal, right? But here comes the twist. As soon as you zoom in on the footage, there's a branch just chilling in the sky away from the tree. I mean, what's going on here? I'm left scratching my head, and it's not just me. This is the kind of stuff that blurs the line between what's possible and what's, well, just plain bizarre. I mean, unless someone can convince me that there's an invisible floating tree holding that branch up, I'm going to remain utterly perplexed. It's like a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie, but this is right there in our Instagram feed, messing up with our sense of reality. While driving through Alaska, vehicles were asked to stop and park on the side of the road for a moving convoy. This is what they saw. Do you see anything odd at all among the entourage? Yup, that trailer seems to be carrying something rather odd. You don't need to be a genius to know that definitely looks like a spacecraft of sorts. Everyone who saw it was convinced it was a UFO strapped to a truck, while others leaned toward theories of a classified government gadget or an elaborate piece of equipment with undisclosed purposes. What do you think this mysterious item could be? On a snowy Christmas Eve, a woman recorded a peaceful scene outside her window as snowflakes gently fell. This ordinary video took an unexpected turn toward the end. Take a look. Did you catch that? The snow appeared to stop suddenly, almost like it vanished or got switched off. It looks like a glitch, doesn't it? When this footage surfaced online, speculation ran wild. Many thought it was a trick of light, suggesting that the lights went out, making it look like the snow suddenly stopped. However, a sharp-eyed viewer pointed out that the street lights were still on in the background, challenging the light theory. So are we looking at a glitch in the Matrix, or is there a more logical explanation for the whole thing? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. If you haven't already hit that like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you please do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more of these kind of videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. Apart from the mysteries of Bigfoot, many things also leave the internet stuck in awe and confusion. One such intriguing footage was captured by a UK-based YouTuber known for his channel, Exploring with Danny. Danny, known for his explorations of abandoned places, recently ventured into an abandoned church. Little did he know this visit would take an unexpected turn. I'll not say much, I'll let the video speak for itself.
Hello? Hello?
Maybe Danny didn't get the memo of the word abandoned, but that strange pale person in the footage just gave him enough of a reminder to send him running away. What's your take on this video? Do you think it was staged, or did Danny genuinely encounter something unexpected? Judging from his reaction, it looks like he had quite the scare. But is it authentic though? I'll let you decide that. I wish I could say this next clip isn't any weirder, but that would be a lie. This footage was captured by an adventurous individual in an unfamiliar locale. As he was exploring, he stumbled upon a spot behind a weathered white wall adorned with faded black writings. The location had grass sporadically covering the ground and vibrant trees with green leaves surrounding the area. While filming, the explorer noticed a strange humanoid figure in a squatting posture, seemingly lost in whatever it was doing. However, the recorder's actions break the cover and draw the creature's attention. With its white, pale-like ghostly-looking self, it charges towards the one filming. This causes the video to end abruptly, leaving much to the imagination afterwards. What do you think this creature was? My money is on the fact that it's a rake, but what about you? Stepping away from the creature, however, tell us what you would have done if you found yourself in this predicament. Let us know in the comments section. Still on UFOs, these strange lights were seen in the sky. There were 5 of them in total in a very strange formation. You see it, don't you? So the burning question here is, are we possibly witnessing a fleet of UFO crafts gracefully navigating the cosmos? I mean, I can't think of any earthly vehicles that boast such an intriguing setup. Could these lights be the handiwork of extraterrestrial visitors, or is there a more down-to-earth explanation that we're just not privy to yet? Share your thoughts, please. Take a look at this unusual sight, a black ring surrounded by what looks like white smoke. Looks otherworldly and even alien if you ask me. But the know-it-all Julius had to ruin the thought for everyone here by stating that despite its intriguing appearance, this phenomenon isn't from outer space but has a scientific explanation. According to him, the black ring is actually a circular tornado formed when the heat at its center interacts with the cold conditions outside the ring. This atmospheric interplay creates a visually stunning display where the dark ring contrasts with the surrounding white smoke. Those who get to see this meteorological phenomenon are treated to a captivating sight. Understanding the science behind such events helps demystify the spectacle, showcasing the beauty and complexity inherent in the natural processes of our atmosphere. Before we move off this video, has anyone out there seen it in real life? Share your experience with us. Kenya, a land of rich culture and natural beauty, recently found itself at the center of a mysterious aquatic enigma. A peculiar creature washed ashore featuring the upper torso of a human seamlessly melding with the lower torso of a fish. The internet buzzed with one word: mermaid. Now, before we dive deeper into the mysteries of this maritime anomaly, we must tread carefully. The world has seen its fair share of supposed mermaid sightings, some more convincing than others. These creatures of myth and legend often elude our understanding, making it tricky to separate fact from fiction. However, this particular case does raise some compelling questions. The footage captured shows the creature's fins moving in a manner that seems rather convincing. How could this be faked? Could this be a genuine mermaid, a being of folklore that we've only dared to imagine? You tell me. Still on the bizarre and spooky, hold onto your hat, folks, because things just took a turn for the downright bizarre. Feast your eyes on this enigma caught by a trail cam. We've got a green, scaly-looking thing. I say thing because it's hard to even classify this one. It appears to have two tentacle-like appendages, which I guess might be legs, but there's no head, no discernible features, and frankly, it looks like something straight out of a sci-fi flick. It's even hard to believe this was captured on a trail cam. Just when you thought you'd seen it all, the universe throws this curveball your way. If there are things like this lurking in the woods, maybe staying indoors isn't such a bad idea after all. Speaking of which, perhaps I need to cancel that camp meeting I never wanted to go to. Someone noticed a person sitting on the ground outside late into the night. I don't know why he did, but for some odd reason he got closer and this person lifted his head. Once that happened, it became apparent that this person was not human, but some sort of goblin-like creature with glowing eyes. The creature noticed the person filming and stood up. If I were the one, I know my heart would skip a beat, but then again, taking a critical look at the clip, it looks like the creature is nothing more than CGI. Its movements and appearance, though spine-chilling, may indeed be a product of digital tools rather than an unearthly entity. In the age of advanced technology, the line between the authentic and the fabricated becomes increasingly blurred. This looks like something that was created years ago, but what do you think? In Mexico, a group of guys came across a strange creature they called the Goat Man. This mysterious being had a human upper body and lower half with goat-like hoofs. You know what? Enough talking. Let me show you.
Miren sus pies. Nuestro Padre Dios se encuentra presente en este lugar. Tú te quedas de donde perteneces. Nadie debió traerte a este plano.
Faced with this otherworldly sight, the person recording instinctively started praying, thinking the creature might be a demon. But in a strange twist, as the camera momentarily shifted away from the creature and then returned, the goat man had inexplicably vanished into thin air. Confused and spooked, the men quickly retreated from the scene. The creature's size, long arms, and distinctive hooves make you wonder if this was a mythical creature or something from a different realm. Members of the paranormal community even speculate that it might have been demonic and that the guy's intense prayer had something to do with the creature vanishing. Could it really have been a demon?
¿Qué está arriba, güey? Arriba hay alguien, güey. Mira, no mames.
Hunting can be quite an exciting pastime, and part of the thrill lies in the anticipation of what you might encounter. But it seems like some folks took their hunting endeavors to a whole new level. Out in the picturesque hiking trails of Utah, things took a dark turn when someone decided to turn the area into a booby trap playground, making it perilous for unsuspecting hikers. The situation got so dire that the police had to step in, launching an investigation that ultimately led them to apprehend 2 suspects. These individuals had constructed what can only be described as a deadly contraption, armed with sharp stakes and hefty stones weighing in at a whopping 9 kilograms. These traps were cleverly concealed, and had the police not intervened promptly, we might have had some serious injuries or worse. I suspect worse. The suspects claimed they'd set these traps with the intention of catching an animal, but let's be honest, it all sounds a bit fishy, doesn't it? It's almost like they were gearing up for a face-off with some mythical beast, be it Bigfoot or even, dare I say it, a vampire, given the abundance of stakes involved. Either that or these had actually marked out someone or groups of persons to be hurt by the trap. While we may never know for sure, it's definitely quite the mystery, wouldn't you say? Next, we have a trail cam that captured a rather bizarre creature roaming the woods at an ungodly hour. Amidst a thick canopy of green leaves, broken branches, and slanted tree trunks, the camera captures a ghostly figure clinging to shattered boughs. With an appearance reminiscent of century-old cobwebs, almost like a wraith with its gray face resembling a smoke-filtered mask, it lacks eyeballs but possesses empty eye sockets, wooden hands with only 2 fingers, black fur, and visible front teeth. If I ever encountered something like this in real life, I might just be scared out of my wits. But the question remains, is it even real? If it is, why is it roaming the woods? What happened to it? How did it become like this? Has any one of you encountered anything like this, or at least heard stories or legends about creatures like this? If you have, could you please share? We'd really like to know. Russia is known for many things, but trust me when I say this next one will shock you.
Большая. Что такое, непонятно.
In the clip, we see a huge rectangular-shaped craft moving in the sky. It looks like one of those futuristic movies which has naturally caused a buzz in paranormal and alien forums. Some think the Russian government made it up, while others think the Russians are in bed with the aliens. Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy, but then again, it's not impossible now, is it? On the flip side, there's that lingering thought that this could be an extraterrestrial visitor navigating the vast expanse of our sky. Naturally, everyone involved in this debate thinks they're right. Even as I make this video, Aaron and Julius are still debating. So we need a tiebreaker, which would be you, our lovely audience. What do you think this is? Let us know in the comments section. Still on flying things in the sky, a passenger aboard a plane spotted something strange in the sky. It was a dark entity that had no shape. It was spotted when they were over the Asian Sea. The entity pierced through the clouds, turned around for a little bit, and then vanished into thin air. Naturally, he was left asking himself what he had seen. He uploaded the clip online and everyone else was equally confused. Some felt it could be a sign of the paranormal making an appearance in our plane, while others thought it definitely had to be something alien. Julius, our know-it-all, thinks it could either be an alien craft or a manifestation of a weather anomaly that's never been documented. Many in the online community, however, lean toward the idea of it being an alien. I, for one, also subscribe to this idea, but what do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. This next footage was taken by the security guards from a school in Brazil. It was pretty late at night when they heard a loud banging sound coming from the school building, so 2 of the guards set out to investigate. As they approached, they noticed something else eerie. The lights are flickering ominously. The tension is thick in the air as they ventured deep into the school, drawn by the unexplained sounds. But here's the kicker. Just as suddenly as it started, the noise abruptly ceases and the lights go out. These vigilant guards check every nook and cranny, inspect the lights, and even examine the fuses, but they find nothing amiss. So what could have caused this chilling disturbance? Was it a mischievous ghost or perhaps something far more sinister lurking in the shadows?
Znači nema ništa, kiša počela da pada, kao što vidite.
As the camera rolls, we hear the voice of a foreign man who appears to be on a quest to capture evidence of some mysterious sightings he's encountered.
Ne znam ni ja sam šta je.
In his haste to capture a potential eureka moment, he sprints across a well-manicured grass field, camera in hand, capturing every step. Further ahead, a mysterious structure emerges in the middle of the unknown vicinity. However, as he turns, we catch a glimpse of glowing lights and a lurking presence behind the structure. It has a ghostly form, and it's unlike any otherworldly cryptid or paranormal entity we have encountered. Do you see it too? Do you know what creature this is? If you do, please share it with us in the comments section. While on a hike in the Appalachians, a hiker came face to face with this cryptid. That's definitely the legendary Sasquatch standing among the trees, staring right at the hiker. You can see it, right? You'd think other members of the paranormal community would be happy to see the clip, but instead, the encounter has stirred skepticism among some. This has left many doubting the authenticity of the footage, with many leaning toward the possibility of it being a well-executed hoax. While believers in the existence of Sasquatch revel in the thrill of this alleged sighting, skeptics raise questions about the authenticity of the encounter. Some say it's a staged sighting or misinterpretation of an ape or monkey. What say you? A Twitter user posted this strange video. The clip starts with this young man speaking some incantations while holding the strange object. After some seconds, he leaves it and it appears to be floating in mid-air. At first, you might think that the object is tied to a rope, but as the camera zooms in, you realize that nothing is keeping it afloat. In parts of Africa, there are people who are known to possess spiritual powers, and they're mostly identified by the way they dress. Judging by this man's appearance, it may be a witch doctor, which will explain the whole thing. Naturally, the footage excited Aaron, who was happy about seeing a witch doctor in action. But Julius's scientific mind is trying to find an explanation. Can you help him? Just a quick reminder before the next clip comes, if you still haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, could you do so right now? You wouldn't want me to send a Bigfoot after you now, would you? Now, this is one of those photos that will make you do a double take. Here's the story. This lady was out in the woods recording a video, minding her own business and unaware of what was lurking behind her. But let's dive into the creepy part. If you zoom in on the image, right there amidst a pile of dried leaves, you'll spot it. A creature with an extremely pale face and those dark, hollow eyes. Your first instinct might be Bigfoot, right? Well, not so fast. Bigfoots, if they exist, aren't usually this ghostly pale. So what are we dealing with here? The possibilities are enough to send shivers down your spine. It could be a skinwalker, a rake, or perhaps something even more sinister. What we do know is, if that creature was still hungry, this lady might have been on the menu. It's a chilling reminder that those woods can be a mysterious and unpredictable place. So next time you're out there, keep your wits about you. The world of cryptids and elusive creatures is endlessly fascinating, and this footage captures a legendary one. While exploring the woods, an individual felt he wasn't alone, becoming alert and spotting this elusive creature among the trees. Hoping he could catch whatever it was on camera, he took out his phone to record, and the footage playing out on your screen is what he recorded. As the camera pans through the woods, we see it, a large, ape-like figure moving amongst the trees. Despite being quite shaky, many consider this footage a classic Bigfoot sighting. You know, that legendary cryptid that's been the talk of campfires for ages. These Bigfoot, or Sasquatch, sightings are scattered all over the place. These legendary creatures are known to inhabit remote, rugged terrain, making sightings extremely rare. That makes any footage involving them, like this particular one, gold for those who study and believe in the existence of these elusive beings. Even with all the sightings, we're still scratching our heads about what Bigfoot is. It's like they'd leave just enough breadcrumbs to keep us curious, but not enough to give away the whole story. So for now, we'll keep our eyes on the woods and our cameras rolling, hoping for that one shot that finally unravels the mystery. Now, I have seen a lot of scary things in my day, but this next one, it just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I know body modification is a thing for many today, but this young man here appears to have taken a very extreme route as far as that is concerned. There are a few individuals that modify their faces like the way he has. Talk about their eyes, brows, tongues, nose, teeth, and basically their whole faces. This man seems to have done it all. While it might have been done to live out a fantasy, there is still a lot of health concerns from just looking at it. For the first time, I saw a comments section where people were not ridiculing but having genuine concern for the individual. Most of the modifications he's made are permanent, so there's no going back. But almost everyone who saw this stated that they hoped and prayed that he wouldn't face extreme health complications for his decision. And with that, we end today's episode. Thanks for staying with us. Before you go, are there clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't? Well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Share this video with someone you love. See you in the next one.